So I've been hiking for about an hour, and I finally reached my destination here. I'm at the creek, as you can see down there, and there's some gravels up there that I'm going to be working. Now this definitely looks like a pretty nice place to work. Got this gravel bar here. It's really peaceful out here, nobody around. I don't think many people come back here this far, but let's do some test pans, see if we can find some gold. So here's the gravels that I'm looking at. You can see we got some smaller gravels here, a few bigger rocks, but then right here, the rocks change size. So right here is what we're gonna try first. Although this is pretty interesting over here. Look how the creek is cut right through the bedrock right here. So if I walk up and down here, see if I can find a quartz vein right in here. The quartz vein probably continues into the saprolite. And there could be some gold. Well, let's go back here. Man, my waders have a leak in the bottom of the foot. So that's not very awesome. This is my second pair of waders that I've destroyed. So I'm gonna have to get me some new ones. It's about to be winter time, so we're gonna need to get some insulated ones anyway. But let's get the shovel out and dig right down here. Sometimes it's really hard to get underneath that layer of gravel. Just gotta kind of work it like this. There we go. That's a nice shovel full. That looks good. It's kind of hard to pan cross current, so I turn my back to it usually, like this. Whoa. Need to find some calmer water to pan in. We'll make it work for now. Well, I got a piece of gold poking through already. And I barely even started panning it back. That's a good sign right there. Check that out. Well, not much for a speck count. I mean, there's some micros, and then those two right there. But I still think it's worth doing some more material. All right, so I'm about halfway through this bucket, and finally see gold in this sluice. It's just that little tiny piece right there. But most of what was in my test pan was really small like that, and even smaller. Ooh, there's another nearly invisible one right there. So there is gold in the box. So just gonna keep feeding it. What I figured out is I can definitely move material faster with the pan. If you didn't see me break my record with just a pan in the last video, definitely go check that out. But this is more leisurely. So I'm not really in production mode, I'm in prospecting mode. I'm trying to find a good spot, not mine. Yesterday was all about mining. Today's all about prospecting and relaxing out in the wilderness by myself. And look at that. Look at that piece of gold right there. That's a really fat picker that has some body to it as well. Unbelievable. I'm reaching in there and grabbing it. I don't care. Come on. Wow. Look at that piece of mica. Isn't that a beautiful piece of mica right there? Wow, that really fooled me, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that. Did that not look exactly like gold? That definitely did, and it's not. So I ran a little half a bucket out of that test hole, and it was basically a bust. There is gold, and there's also some super micro. I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of pieces of gold, but very small pieces of gold. I don't know if it's worth staying in that hole. I don't know, that's a lot of specks, but not a bucket's worth of specks. Alright, so I just noticed something up here that's definitely worth testing out. So this is a little bit of an inside bin, but that's not what interests me. What interests me is this giant root ball from this tree. So that could have released a lot of gold right behind it. So I'm thinking, I don't know, in here somewhere, maybe like right in here. Let's give it a shot. So it's not the worst test pan in the world. There's quite a few colors in there. They're really small. Actually, that's, wow, on camera I can see way more specks than I can with the naked eye. That's how small they are. But there's like 20 colors right there. And I took that from right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and work this right here. Check that out. It's an old square nail. No, it's not. It's not square. But it's definitely old. I don't know. Is that a hand forged nail? I'm not sure. I'm gonna hang on to it anyway though. I think it's gonna be a decent bucket, but definitely all small gold. There's one right there. So, still not finished running it. So, yeah, this is way slower than production panning. Way slower. It's not even close. Next time I come out here, maybe I'll bring a backpack sluice. Because this is taking forever compared to yesterday. It's cleaning out really slow. Oh, there's one that just popped up right there. Might be feeding too much at a time, but so I'm getting impatient. I want to see how this bucket turns out. And there's tons of mica. Tons of mica here. Sparkling like crazy. Oh, there's another one right there. I mean, it ought to be a decent bucket. Whoa, that's way too big of a scoop. Hey, there's a decent one right there. And one below it. Actually, that one's bigger than that one. But definitely gold. Alright, I think we did pretty good on the fine gold capture after the end of that bucket. If you look through all these cells, look at that cell. There's a lot of gold in there. So I did find a good spot. That's gonna look pretty good for one bucket, especially with that cell right there looking so loaded with gold. But let's clean it up, roll it back. Well, it's definitely a lot of pieces of gold. So that's good, but at the pace I'm running material, it's gonna be hard to get very much. So I think I'm just gonna pan. A couple hours of panning, see what I can get. That's looking pretty good. We're still dealing with the really small gold, but quite a bit in terms of specs. So that's one pan. We got another really good spec count. Still flour gold. It's a lot of pieces of gold. Not bad. Not a bad pan. It's definitely worth running more of this material, bringing a sluice box back. Well, it's definitely consistent on the flour gold, like the last honey hole. 100% worth working. That's nice. One pan. A little too full that time. I mean, it's pretty consistent. If I could run a lot of this stuff, man, I'd be doing pretty good. Honestly, that's not a terrible snuffer dump right there. I haven't run very much material, but I mean, this is kind of a rich area too. Bring a sluice here and you'll definitely do pretty well. That's not too bad right there. It's not gonna weigh a whole lot, but I'll probably get some kind of weight today. So basically, what I've been learning over my past few trips to the mountains is gravel bars that are downstream from fallen trees is a thing. All right, it's time to start the hike up out of here and head home, clean up the gold, and see what we got. All right, let's climb up out of here. That would have been a nice area to check as well. Should be a trail here. I think it's a game trail. It's got to be a game trail. That's what I'm thinking. Could be a human trail or both. Man, it's pretty out here. Oh yeah, I forgot about this gully here. I gotta climb down. I think I'm gonna sit down on my butt for this one. All right. There's one part here where I gotta scale across this rock. Almost fell coming in. Oh, is this it right here? It looks a lot worse than it was, but it's kind of steep and drops straight off in there. So I don't want to fall there. So I'm gonna put my phone away. Made it, didn't die. All right, my guess is 0.1. 0.11. That was a pretty good guess. It's not too bad for the small amount of material that I went through. Once again, there's mercury. There's mercury all through this creek. I don't know how well you can see the amalgam on camera, but it's definitely there. Spoiler alert, that spot is awesome, and I already went back there and killed it. So another day of successful prospecting and locating a deposit. So that was pretty awesome. It's hunting season, so had to get me some bright colors so I don't get shot by a hunter. So that's a thing. But I appreciate everybody watching, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.